recorded. Yeah, we got the warning. And I'll start sharing my screen as well, because I know you're all here very excited to hear all about how to become unapologetically ambitious. And it's absolutely my pleasure to be here with you doing that. So let me do that. Share my screen. There we go. Let's do it this way. Perfect. So welcome to the session once again. And I am Joanna Orvalho. I know some of you already know me. For many others, I'm a bit new. So very quickly, I'm a career and mindset coach, and I focus on helping women to define success on their own terms and get the confidence they need and all the tools they need to grab that success, to make it a reality for themselves. I'm also a speaker and a best-selling author, having contributed to the book Creating Joy. So with no further ado, let's start on our session. But before we do that, can I just ask you to, if you have any questions or any comments throughout the session, to please use the chat. I'll be checking the chat as we go through the session. Let me just enter a couple of people more into our session. And then if you can pop in the chat as well, just before we start, where you are in the world. So I'm curious, as I said, I'm in London. So where are you? And in a scale of 1 to 10, being 1 the less satisfied and 10 the most satisfied, how do you feel in terms of career satisfaction at the moment? So that I have an idea in terms of what we're dealing with, if that's okay. Okay, London, 6 out of 10. Okay, good, slightly above average. South Wales, 7 out of 10. Oh, Toronto, oh, very far. New York, 6 out of 10. US, 6 out of 10. London as well. So a few people in the UK and UK too. Leicester, 1 out of 10. That's low. Okay, Toronto as well. Lincolnshire, UK, 2 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Okay, so quite low numbers now. Okay. So, well, the good news is that this session will definitely help you in terms of understanding the steps that you need to take to get out of that bit of a career rut. Derbyshire, but currently joining from a ski holiday. Oh, nice. And thank you for joining us, interrupting your holiday to join us. 5 out of 10. Okay, bang on the middle. So thank you for sharing that. And as I said, the session will definitely help you to start to get a little bit more clarity on what you actually have to do to increase that career satisfaction, regardless of what it means for you. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, another one. Okay, I think everyone is joining us now. So my promise to you today is I'm going to show you how to define your true desires when it comes to your career and get the confidence you need to be able to pursue them. Okay, this is all about what I was saying at the beginning, is what is success for you? It means very different things for everyone in the call. So you just need to define what is it exactly that it means for you, and then get that confidence in those emotional tools and the practical ones, of course, as well, to go and get it, make it a reality. So, is this masterclass worth your time? You might be thinking. Well, I have to tell you that I've helped dozens of women to revamp their careers, so to increase that career satisfaction. Okay, and I've done that through, and you can see for yourself in terms of the feedback. But I do that by pushing my clients to new levels, by offering new lenses and new perspectives to the things that they use of seeing. So the way that they write their own CVs, the way that they perceive themselves in the workplace. That makes a huge difference when it comes to increasing your confidence and truly knowing your value. And once you start to get to know yourself a lot better, when you start to believe in yourself a lot better, the next step for you start to become clearer, because it's all this confusion, it's all this noise, it's all the feeling of unworthiness that truly holds us back as women of understanding what is it that we really want out of our career. So I challenge my clients every session to look at things slightly different, and sometimes a small tweak to things can go a long way. Okay, on top of that, of course, I said all the tools, as I said. So you are in the right place if you feel scared of even thinking about slightly changing your banking career. Okay, because we're not here just to talk about big career changes, not at all. We're here to talk about anything that might mean to you that you're happier at work. And sometimes there is a change in responsibilities, sometimes there is the courage to put yourself for a promotion, and sometimes, yes, there is a change in industry or a big career change, but not all of the times. And what the change actually means, or what is that tweak that you need to do to your career, doesn't really matter, in the sense that you still need to go through the same steps to identify what that is and get the confidence to go and get it. And then you're also in the right place if you feel demotivated, but you're not sure how to get your sense of purpose back. You feel that your career is in a rut, but you feel stuck in a high-paying position. And overall, you feel really overwhelmed with the thought of having to actively do something about your career, okay? Because I was guilty of this when I was in banking, which is sometimes we almost feel like we go with the flow, and then the kind of almost that our career happened to us rather than we making it happen. And therefore, the thought of actively taking the reins of it and deciding what is it that we want to do next can be quite scary because it's out of our comfort zone. That's the only reason why it's scary, okay? So I'm going to ask you, can you see yourself in these scenarios? You miss feeling passionate about work, so you've been looking around to see if anyone can simply tell you what you should do next, right? This is quite a common move. Maybe a mentor, maybe a partner, maybe your manager, right? It's the easy answer. Someone will just tell you what to do, go away and you do it. Or you have started to send CVs or resumes in the US randomly and feel a bit surprised that no one has even called you back. This happened to me quite a lot, right? Or maybe you've searched online and found loads of motivational and inspiring stories about people who changed careers, but nothing seems to help you understand what you should actually be doing. And I know that this only left you feeling more frustrated and lost, because I've done all of it for more than 2 years and got me nowhere, but that's why I'm here. So by the end of this training, I will show you how to define your own ambition with confidence on both your desires and what you need to do to achieve them. Okay, so let me share with you kind of some key lessons that I've took from my own personal journey, because as the big majority of you will know, I worked for over 13 years in banking before becoming a career mindset coach. So I discovered that when we truly focus on what brings us joy, even more great things happen, right? It's kind of law of attraction, basic principles. Positive attracts positive, and negative, unfortunately, attracts negative as well. And that we should never judge ourselves or feel guilty about our own feelings, okay? We are entitled to them. Regardless of what they are, you are feeling them. So don't be judgy. Don't be biased. Just allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling, and that we shouldn't settle. Don't let the fear of the unknown to stop you from achieving your highest potential. And that asking for help is a sign of strength and not a weakness. This is such a powerful statement because we are women, and you know, everyone says asking for help is kind of a feminine energy, but in reality, it's a lot harder for women to ask for help than it is for men. And you can think about simple examples in your life, even with kids, right? Like your partner or your husband will ask for help very commonly with the kids. Well, when you are doing something, you almost need to prove to yourself, maybe not at a conscious level, but you're almost proving that you can do it all by yourself. You can do it all. Right? We have this in us that we can have it all. We can do it all. So asking for help is definitely a sign of strength, okay? But now you might be thinking, okay, but you know, I'm a banker. That's it. Okay, but a caterpillar knows that it won't be a caterpillar forever, okay? It turns into a cocoon and then into a beautiful, beautiful butterfly. Why is this important? It's mainly to understand that change is a natural process and is necessary to achieve your highest potential, okay? Life is full of change in all sorts of ways. That's the way that we progress, that's the way that we evolve, that's the way that we achieve different things. So that is definitely natural. So when something, it doesn't feel right, you need to change it. Either big change or small change, you just need to face the change. And now you might be thinking, okay, but I have no clue what my ambition is. Okay, let me ask you this. When you were born, you couldn't walk either, right? And you had never done it before, but I'm sure as hell that you can walk now, right? So it's all about having the right intention and the right support, and you will understand what is it there's so much craving in your career. So I have a clear sense of purpose and direction when it comes to my career. I know exactly what I want to do, okay? This statement was exactly what I wish I could have said when I was feeling really lost, really confused back in the day, okay? This was a few years back. So because this was my true desire, and I know that this is what my clients crave before we start working together, okay? So I'm sure that you're feeling the same right now. I want you to know that by the end of it, when I finish working with a client, they have a clear and tangible career plan to achieve success. They know where to focus their energy to be happy at work, and they regain a sense of purpose and control over their working life. Okay, and the way that we do that is by focusing in 3 different areas or 3 different pillars, as we prefer to call it. One is to understand what brings you joy and fulfillment. What is that really makes you tick, to get to know yourself a lot better? Because once you know something so well, you know what it needs, right? The same goes about you. Define your career plan to get clear on what you want and define your short and long-term career goals with confidence. And the third one is to focus on you and overcoming your fears to enhance the relationship you have with yourself so that you can boost your natural confidence, okay? Natural is a really good word here because, you know, children, they're super confident. They believe the whole world goes around them. And that's because we love, we nurture them, we respect their needs, and we put them above all. Is that feeling of importance, is that type of nurturing that really boosts your inner confidence? So it's all about almost looking at your relationship with self again with little small tweaks, and make sure that you are telling yourself on a daily basis that you are a priority, that you are taking good care of yourself. And by only doing that, natural confidence, you know, is automatic. It starts to increase. So that's very important. Right. So how do you become unapologetically ambitious? Okay, let's start answering the question. First step, ditch the guilt. This is super important, okay? So you might have thought similar to, why can't I just be content? Everyone around me seems to, and I earn a good salary, or I don't want to disappoint my manager or my family, okay? This is very common. Thinking about the impact that a potential change, maybe you don't even know what the change looks like, but what this potential change can have in your colleagues, in your manager, because you kind of create this sort of loyalty towards someone that, be mindful, sometimes doesn't happen the other way around, or the impact it will have in your family if you decide to work less hours, more hours, whatever it is, right? But remember this, everyone else is not you, okay? And as I said, you are entitled to your own feelings and thoughts, okay? And always remember to love and accept yourself unconditionally, because that is key for everything. Respect the way that you feel. If something doesn't feel right, that's it, it's not right. Okay, it's as simple as that. So always remember that, because that used to be me. Okay, I spent more than 2 years in denial. Why was I feeling unhappy and demotivated? I was living the life I had envisioned for myself. I wanted to be a banker since I was a little girl. Okay, so I studied towards that. I moved to London to become a banker. I was being, you know, a bank. I was, you know, working in banking. I was having all this life that I had really pictured for myself. So why was I even feeling that way? So there was a big internal battle for me because, you know, like, and I didn't seem to be able to focus on what I really wanted because, first of all, I needed to win this battle. In other words, I needed to accept the way that I was feeling, okay? I needed to let go of my own bias that I had towards making a change and just accept what I was really, really craving. So this is definitely the first step, and this is hugely important because it's with everything in life. Before we can move towards a solution, you need to admit to yourself that you have the problem. You need to accept it. So before you accept, you fully own your feelings, you cannot move forward. Okay, and here's, let me make sure. Okay, everyone is on mute. Here's how you start to accept what you feel. Check in at the end of each day with yourself, okay? Quick check-in, a very kind of quick mental check-in. Was it a good or a bad day, okay? And ignore all the efforts that you've made to be where you are today. Yes, you did hear it right? It's a sunk cost because of the hours you put in, the qualifications you've took, all the efforts, all this, all that. It's in the past. There's nothing you can do about it. But the past led you to where you are today. That's the only thing that really matters, okay? And thirdly, think about what advice you would give to a loved one, okay? Maybe your child, your best friend, you know, if they were feeling the same way, okay? So if they were feeling miserable or dissatisfied with their career, would you literally tell them just suck it up? so that you don't impact your manager, although you don't impact your family routine, because routines are great, but they can be changed. They can adapt to different realities, right? So really ask yourself and be honest with yourself. If you were, again, your child, a best friend, your sister, your brother, someone that you really, really love and care about, why would you tell them? And start telling that to yourself. Stop being so judgmental and critical, because we women, unfortunately, tend to be that way. So once you've accepted the way you feel and you deep dived to understand why you feel that way, you can move forward, because you'll honestly know what you've truly been missing. It goes back to the problem analogy, right? For you to really understand what the problem is, you need to understand and accept what is it that you're feeling. Once you really accept it, you start to understand it, so then you start to know what is it that you've been missing so far, okay? So this is your first step. Second step, to overcome your fears, okay? So do you see yourself in the sentence below? I'm way too scared to even say what I wish I could do out loud. I cannot remember how many women I've heard saying this to me, okay? Or I'm terrified of telling my friends and family about what I'm thinking about doing with my career. Okay, couple of things here. So first of all, remember that you don't have to share a thing with anyone before you are fully % ready. It's very important, because while you're still in the waters of, I'm not really sure what I should do, I'm not really sure how I feel, if you start sharing things, people will question it, because that's what people do, right? It's human nature. They'll start questioning it. And those questions will only lead you to feel more confused, will only lead you to feel more insecure, because let's face it, you don't really have the answers. So you don't have to share it. Only do if you feel comfortable, okay? And then a great thing to do is to go to dreamland and think about all that you can become. Remember something, dreamland is truly dreamland, in the sense that reality doesn't apply. In other words, fear, doubt, this self-criticism, it's not allowed in there. It's just dream, it's just desires. This will start to help you, okay? So back to my journey, because we learn a lot through example, right? So to know that I wanted to be a coach and to actually become one are two completely different things, okay? I mean, I was terrified. Would I make enough money? Would other people judge me? What if I'm not good enough at coaching? And the list goes on and on and on, okay? But what I've realized is that I was making all of these barriers here inside of my mind, because I didn't want to leave my comfort zone. These weren't real. But yeah, leaving a comfort zone, it's not easy. It's scary, because no matter how much you overcome fears, you work on changing the beliefs and everything, there's always an element of the unknown. So there's always an element that you're going to have to go yourself, push yourself, right? And face it. So because of that, there's always an element of that. So it is scary to leave the comfort zone, for sure. And great ever happens within it, right? It's something that we need to accept that we're going to have to do. Okay, mute. Okay, so let's talk about fear a little bit more then, because fear is something you create inside of your head. The fear is just a statement that you're used to thinking about it so much that now you believe is true, okay? Let's take a mundane fear, the fear of spiders. If you are scared that a spider will bite you, you might believe that it is true. Oh my God, I can never touch a spider. I can never let a spider come into my hand, because it's going to bite me, all of it. But in reality, that's not going to happen. Lots of people play with spiders. Once they're not afraid of it, they just touch it. They don't bite. So this is not true. It's just because you became so used to thinking that, it's almost muscle memory. Your brain is used to thinking. You almost believe it's a reality when it's not, okay? It's like when you start school, it felt super uncomfortable and scary, because, right, it was the unknown. Everything was the unknown. You've grown and evolved, and you even came to love it once you've allowed yourself to embark on the journey. Okay, so rather than starting yourself, oh, I'm scared of making this step, I'm scared of making any change, I'm scared of thinking about what could I be doing with my career, change that belief, change that statement, and say, well, if I am to be happy at work, I need to start to look into a change. Start slowly, right? But start with that, and that will definitely start to help you to overcome that. Because as I said, leaving a comfort zone is scary. But once you've managed to overcome self-doubt, you're geared up to define and make your dreams a reality. Okay, it's really about overcoming that barrier of fear, that first layer, and the other ones are a lot easier to manage. Now, your third step. So we've been through ditching the guilt, overcoming your fears, and now the third, which is to stop the noise. Okay, and what do I mean by noise? Okay, let's explore this a little bit more. So do you generally struggle with the below? but how do I know what I like and what do I want? Or I can really seem to have the time to focus on my own career. Okay. If you only had a really big interest that you've known about since forever, okay, this is very common. A lot of people tell me, well, I never had this huge passion since I was a little girl. I never had this hobby, or I don't have a hobby that I want to turn into a career. Well, you don't have to have a hobby. Okay, for you to be fully fulfilled in a career, it might be something that is not 100% dissimilar to what you do today. Maybe just focusing on the skills that you use on a day-to-day basis that really light you up, and finding a role where you can use more of those skills and less of the ones that actually drain you. It's as simple as that, right? So you don't have to have this hobby, amazing hobby that you want to turn into a career. Very rarely that it actually generates the money that you want. Or if someone else, like a mentor, just told you what to do. Once again, the easy way out, right? So just to finalize my own journey, once I've accepted the way that I felt, it wasn't obvious what I wanted to do instead. Okay, I spent more than 1 year battling with the idea that I wasn't creative and couldn't open a business without a brilliant, innovative idea, because I am obsessed with Dragon's Den or Shark Tank in the US. So I love to watch it. And if you watch
What?
Oh, so someone, let me just make sure everyone is on mute. So if you watch it, you will know that all the entrepreneurs are really praised when they have this brilliant idea, innovative, it's going to disrupt the market, all of it. So, I watch it, I'm obsessed with it, so I need to have one like that. In reality, I don't. I'm not that creative, right? I don't. But I've opened my own business in coaching that has never have a product. Once I've allowed myself to start through process of elimination, seeing the things that I wanted to do and the things I did not want to do, and start to enlighten me about the skills that I wanted to use as well. And it was really in this process of contemplating these different ideas that my path started to take shape. Now, how do you break the noise? Okay, and what I mean by noise is almost kind of everyone else's opinions, everything that you've absorbed as you were growing up, that now creates these layers, okay, around you. So I'll explain this picture because I love it. I think it really illustrates, okay, what you have to do to go back to your desires, your core desires. So at the center, obviously, it's you and your core desires. And through these different colors, and this kind of almost looks like a little bit of a flower, these are the layers that you've acquired throughout your life. And there are more, of course, but from an understanding simplicity lens, I picked this one. So what you have is you have you, and then around you have your family, right? Your vision about, what a career should look like, how do you make money, what your hours should look like, and everything are really influenced by your family, by the example that your parents set for you, by their own expectations, by their own beliefs in terms of what is a stable career, a career that you should go for, a career that has status, a career this and that. So this is your first layer. Similarly, through school and through your friends, your own lens is influenced because maybe at school teachers told you you're great at this, you should be doing something, along the lines of math, or you should go more towards English, that started to influence your own perception of yourself and the value that you have. Not only that, the paths that you see your friends take in terms of career will influence your own ideas in terms of what you believe it's a normal career path, it's a career path that is successful, it's a career path that you should take. And furthermore, your current career will also influence you because you've been doing something so far. You've worked for decades in the banking industry. So you think, okay, I might as well stay in banking, maybe to a very similar area. Well, you know what? Maybe you don't. You can take all your transferable skills and do a similar type role in a different industry, fashion industry, for example, right? Because that's still valuable. People will still pay for your skills in the exact same manner. So this is just an example, of course, but to illustrate that your experience, your past, influences you in the way that you think about the future. And then ultimately, of course, the overall society, the perceptions, the ideas, the beliefs that we have and that we see in other people, our work colleagues, what we hear in the news, all of it influences our own beliefs of what we believe it's possible for us, money that we're going to make, what we should do with the skill set that we already have, the type of career that is deemed as successful, all of these things. And throughout of all these layers, these opinions, these kind of, ideas, examples, experiences, and so on, your core desires kind of become a little bit, diminished because it's the noise around it. Okay, there's so many things around it that it's hard to see. It's hard to go to the core and really understand what is it that you want to do. Okay, but that is the key. to go back to the center, to go back to the basics. What is the stuff that you enjoy doing? Okay, what do you want to be known for? These sort of things. What are your natural talents? What are your transferable skills? What are your personality traits? Is these sort of things that will help you to go back to the core of who you are. Okay, and then another challenge of noise, because noise can kind of appear in different ways, is kind of what we call the noise inside of our own heads when it comes to focusing on your career. Because let's face it, okay, being a woman, it's not easy. You have a highly demanding job, you have a household to run, potentially have kids to take care for, or you have parents that you care for, like have other family members. Like there's always a lot in our plate. Okay, even the little things like the garage door needs fixing, who's gonna call the contractor, all of these little things is almost the multitasking constantly within our head. And this occupies mental space and kind of almost holds you back from having the capacity, the mental capacity you need to focus on you and in your career. Okay, so this can be tricky, but with simple systems, for example, delegations, task lists in place, you can definitely gain some time to dedicate to you and to your career, and you can stop your brain from multitasking 90% of the time. Okay, this is something that I do with all of my clients. I literally go through stuff that are within their head that occupies their mental space and come up with ideas and ways of breaking it down. Okay, I'll give you an example. The other day, one of my clients was thinking about, my day is always broken up in two because I need to go and pick up my son from daycare. And I was like, well, do you have a nanny for your youngest son? So why don't you ask her to go with the little one and pick up the other one? She's there for it. Nannies are used to take care of more than one children at a time. Just do that and stop that break and use that time to really, not leave the zone in terms of being productive, but also if it means you have extra time, then work on your business because she's working on her business on her side. So that's it, right? It seems so obvious, but sometimes it's small things like that can make a huge, huge difference. Okay. So once you've defined the musts and the don'ts when it comes to your career, you'll have identified your core desires. So finding a job or a career that meets your desires is your own definition of success. Okay, so that's really, really important. So let's recap the 3 steps we've just been. Ditch the guilt, overcome your fears, and stop the noise so they can go back to core desires and focus on you and your career. Okay, so now that we've been through the steps you need to do, let's talk a little bit about the common mistakes that I see happening over and over again. Okay, so the first one is to feel guilty for wanting to change. Okay, but you can only support others when you are at your best. Okay, never forget what they tell you when you fly. Put your marks first before you put the masks on anyone else. Why? When you travel with children. Why is that? Because you cannot help anyone if you are not at your best. If you are demotivated, you're not going to be doing your best job. So if you are scared of what the impact of a change might have on your manager, he's better off. He or she is better off, really, because you're not being your best. If you are scared of what a change can impact in terms of your family, if you feel demotivated, you feel sad, you're not happy, you're not going to be at your best self. So you might as well just change it so that your kids, see you the happy mom. The happy mom is then really what they want to be, so they can be present with them. Okay, so that's really, really important. Second mistake, not making the time to focus on your career. Your feelings on demotivation will only spread, okay? Because think about it. What happens with physical pain? Let's say you have a pain on your wrist. If you ignore it and ignore it, only 2 things can happen. The pain, the intensity will increase, so it's going to get a lot worse, or it's going to start to spread. So either way, it's worse, okay? So if you are feeling demotivated, do something about it. Take the opportunity to do something about it. Fourth mistake, feeling that your career happened to you. We touched upon that at the beginning, right? So you sit tight and you hope that things turn for the better. But a sinking ship needs its captain. Always remember that. Just by not doing anything, things will not get better. Okay, not miraculously get better. So really understand what is it that you have to do to avoid the ship from sinking. Okay, and then thinking that you cannot afford a change when you're moving to a job with all the skills and experience you've acquired over the years. Always remember that you have tons of value that you've acquired through experience in a particular field. That experience, that skill set is not 100% tied to whatever you're doing now. No, you've developed in a lot of different ways. You can take it and apply it to something else, right? It's when you start to walk. You don't walk just in the same space where you started, right? And you use that skill set and you walk in the beach, you run, you go up a mountain, like you use the same skill set all over. It's the same here. So once you know that and you act with authority, you don't have to get a pay cut, right? And this is also a little bit illogical sometimes, because people tell me this when they don't even know what they want to do. Okay, so if you don't even know what you want to do next, why do you assume it's going to be paying less? That's not 100% logical. Okay, so it is truly amazing what you can achieve when you dedicate yourself to spending time with you, to get to know you. Okay, because ultimately, and in a nutshell, how do you become unapologetically ambitious? You make your ambitious a non-negotiable. And making it a non-negotiable is you saying, I'm not living without it. Is you define what is it that you want to do. Okay, is a promotion, is a sideways move, is the same job in a different bank, is leaving the banking industry in a similar type role, is opening your business, whatever it might look like for you, you grab it, you define it, and you say, I am this person. I am the person that's going to be a go-getter, and that's it. I want this into my life. This is the lifestyle that I want to create, where I feel happy, I feel motivated, and you do that. And when you become a non-negotiable, even a small proportion of fear that is almost impossible to break before you make that move, you make that leap. Because not making it is a lot harder for you to swallow than to actually face that fear. That's exactly how you do it, right? So now, your own fear talking. This all sounds amazing, but I really don't have the time to focus on understanding what I really want. Or I'm not prepared to start from the bottom. Or how will I know if I would be truly happy in a new career or job? Well, let me ask you this. If you had a broken leg and you were only able to walk again if you went to physiotherapy, would you make the time for it? Your transferable skills will ensure that you maintain the same income you have at the moment. That's what I was always talking about, right? It's you, it's your value, it's your transferable skills. You're just lifting it from a place and putting it somewhere else. And then if you went to a new city, but you had a full map of it, would you be scared of getting lost? Because this is exactly what I'm talking about getting to know yourself so well. You don't, like when you have kids and you know them so well, you know what's right for them, you know what they want, you know what they need. Is that for you? You're really getting to know yourself intrinsically again, and so that you know exactly what you want to do, okay? So it's really up to you. Who do you want to be? A happy and fulfilled woman who's truly passionate about what you do, or feeling like a lost soldier who embarked on a combat full of faith, but now lost his sense of direction and belonging, okay? And don't just take my word for it, okay? I have here 3 examples of women I've worked with. So before Viviane worked with me, she was trapped she was an architect. She was trapped in that field and she wanted to work in marketing. But after working with me, she successfully transitioned and found my advice invaluable to feel confident and prepare her CV and interviews. And then Jane, which is a director in a big firm, due to privacy, I put it Jane, felt like her job didn't matter, that she shouldn't complain, and she's been lucky, to be where she is today. Notice the lack of confidence, lucky. After working with me, she upskilled to her area of passion, which was climate change, and continues to apply my strategies in preparation for the next career step. And Andrea missed her passionate self, but she wasn't willing to compromise her lifestyle. After working with me, she identified her passion within events management and put a plan in place to achieve it in the medium term. That's the other thing, right? Whatever is changing, if it's too big to accomplish, a really robust plan takes that into account, okay? So you won't be forced and say, okay, now go and make it happen. No, you make it happen in a realistic way, in a way that makes sense for you in terms of all the other needs that you have. That could be family needs, that could be money needs, that could be the fact that actually you're investing in something that does require time to build, so you need that time factor, all of it. So always remember that. And how did my clients achieve those results? Again, through these 3 pillars that I mentioned at the beginning. Know your full value and boost your confidence. Get clear on exactly what you want to do. And third, get rid of all the fears and the noise around you, okay? So, decision time. Do you want to find the passion in you again? Do you want to feel happy and uplifted every day? Do you want to have a sense of belonging and feel successful? Because the way that I see it, you have 3 options. Either you do nothing and you just accept, okay, I'm just going to settle. I'm going to be, in the lower scale, I'm going to be dissatisfied. That's your first option. The second option is you take everything that I taught you today and you go away on your own and you try to implement it. The chances are, because of muscle memory and the way that you're used to thinking, you're just going to be, doing more of the same. So you're going to go with the same type of thought and so on. The results that you're going to get are very limited. Or you can get on the fast track, okay, and get results within 3 months. Because when I work with someone, I work for 12 weeks, and within 90 days, you get your defined, meaningful career plan. So if this is you, if you want to go for the third option, I'm really happy that you stayed until the end of the masterclass, because I have a masterclass only offer for you, which is to book a full hour, a discovery call with myself to discuss your career. Okay. And in this call, we're going to be focusing exactly that. Where you are today and where do you want to be? Where is your point B? I know that you might not know it, and that's fine. I just want to understand what is it that you're truly craving in terms of feeling, in terms of career. How do you want to feel? And two things can happen in that call. Either we go through it and we realize we're not a great match to work together, which is totally fine. Or by the end of the call, we say, actually, we could achieve great things together. And then I'll speak to you about my offer in more detail. Regardless of the outcome, it will be an hour that you can spend speaking about you and your career, okay? And it will always be my pleasure to connect with you at an individual level. So if you want to explore that option, please grab the link there. I can actually put it on the chat just before we finish as well, so that you can definitely book a call with me if you want to. As I said, it's a full hour and it's a masterclass only offer. So if you're interested, please book your slot now, because it's, as with everything, it's first come, first serve basis. Okay, so let me open the chat now and just type the link here so that you can use it. And yeah, let me just do that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can do that while you're all here. Ooh, technology is getting the best of me. For those of you who know me, you know that technology is not my best. There we go. I'm actually going to put the full link because it's not allowing me to copy and pasting that one over there. Okay, that's fine. Oh, come on. Allow me to put in the chat. Ah, okay. I know what I was doing. Ooh, took me a while, but I got there. You have the link on the chat to book a call if you wish to do so. So before I say goodbye, I just want to ask you if you have any questions that you would like to pop in the chat box. If you do have questions and you don't want to put it in the chat box today, that's absolutely fine. You all have my email. Drop me a line. Let me know your thoughts, your comments on the session. If there's anything that I can help you with, and we can have a chat there. And for those of you who book a call, it will be my pleasure to connect with you at an individual level. And for the others, I'm sure they will be, together soon in another live or so on. Yeah, absolutely. Call is for free. It's a masterclass offer. It's a full hour, so you can book it. And there's no cost and there's no strings attached, in the sense that if you decide that we're not a good fit, or if I see that I cannot really help you, that's absolutely fine. Right? We part ways and we just get to know each other a lot better. Okay, I'm just going to scroll very quickly to see if there was any questions. The link didn't work. Oh, that's strange. Let me do it again, because let me see this. No, I think I put the right link. Let me just do it again. Yeah. Well, I think it was working well. If it doesn't work, Paola, once again, drop me a line, okay? And I'll send you via email. It might be easier because I copied. I think it was the same. My pleasure. So yeah, I think that the last thing is to wish you all the best and a great rest of your day. And thank you so much for joining me here today. It was an absolute pleasure to connect with you all. Hope to see you all again very soon. Thank you. Bye.